Hello you guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this month's reading wrap up. As you can see, I'm in a different spot for this reading wrap up because I don't know, I just feel like I want to be a little bit more casual and cool. You know, just being in a different spot in my house doesn't make me casual and cool. I just feel casual and cool. Just another disclaimer. I'm also down here because my dog, she is fine. She just sometimes doesn't want to be alone. And I don't blame her. She also likes to be the star of the show and full of attention. So if she pops up in here, it's because she has to be the center of attention. Just so you know. Just so we're aware. So if you see a dog pop up, don't be alarmed. Not that you would be anyway. But if you also hear some rustling, some yips because she's sleeping, that's her. So yeah, let's just get right into this reading wrap up, okay? So this month was actually a pretty good reading month for me. I got into a little bit of the spooky season reads, so that excites me. Okay, well, I didn't really get into a lot of spooky season reads. It's more of like fall reading, like they were like fall inspired books, but honestly, they weren't really fall at all. That's on me. That really is on me. But we're just gonna hop right into it and get right started. I read a total of, I think I read 6 books this month. Yeah, so one of them I read on my Kindle app. Anyways, but let's just start with the first books I read this month, okay? And they're books I'm not gonna talk about because you're gonna have to wait and see my actual video that I have planned for them that I'm filming currently. So you're gonna have to wait for that. I ended up reading all 3 of these books in September. Let me just be honest with you. Both of these books, okay? Do you see how thick they are? Okay, they're real thick. So basically a book and a novella. And then this one is 2 whole books. So if we wanna get technical, I probably read close to like 8, 9 books this month. If we want to count these as 1.5 and 2, which I mean, we're not, but I'm just saying, I could have read that many books this month if these weren't so juicy, you know? First up, A Court of Mist and Fury. If you guys don't know, this one is the follow-up book to the A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is the second book in the ACOTAR series. This one, everybody claims to be their favorite, and it's super entertaining, super fun, and I can see why. Like I said, stay tuned for my ACOTAR reading vlog because... Next up was A Court of Wings and Ruin. This one, like everybody says, full of politics. So like, I thought people were like exaggerating. They're not. This one is really full of politics. So this one did take me a little bit longer to get through, but highly entertained the whole time. And then this one I actually just finished reading. I decided that this was gonna be my read to get me back into the world of ACOTAR, and I'm really, really glad that I did that because very cute and a much needed transition, I feel like, into that book. Okay, and let's go into the other 3 books that I read this month. First book was First Down by Grace Riley. Let me tell you, if you watched my last reading vlog, you would know I didn't know if I was gonna be able to get through this book, but it ended up actually being a really great read, and I really enjoyed it. It was just super fun and casual, and like it took no brain power. Like literally it was the perfect like palate cleanser romance novel because it just takes no brain power. Like the plot is super easy to follow, the characters are super easy to like figure out who they are, and like the whole storyline, the whole thing. You don't need any brain power, which is fantastic. So if you're looking for a book that like you just need as a really good palate cleanser, but that's also like a kind of like a nice little romance, but also if you enjoy sports romance, then this is a great one. If you don't like spice, not the book for you. This is a heavily spicy book. If you're not into that, you're into more closed door romances, then this isn't for you. Let me tell you what it's about first before I give you my rating. Basically, the book follows Bex and James, who are the 2 main characters. James has just transferred into this university as a senior, and he's the quarterback of the football team, and he is trying to go to the NFL. And then Bex is just a college student whose ex-boyfriend happens to be on the football team, and he is actually horrible, okay? He's trash, and he will not literally leave her alone. Like, he literally just keeps bothering her and then talking trash about her. Rude. Keeps annoying her, keeps trying to get back together with her while talking trash about her. She enlists James, who is her ex-boyfriend's teammate and is like, hey, my ex won't leave me alone. Will you please fake date me so that he gets the hint that I don't want to be with him? And that's about it. The fake dating was what really got me into it. I'm a huge fan of fake dating. So that's what really like sold me on this one. Like as I was reading it, I didn't necessarily realize that it was fake dating, but once I figured that out, I said, oh, it's endgame. Because at first I literally could not stand the way that the characters talked. It was just really cringy and I did not like that, which is part of why my rating is going to be the way it is. You know what? You actually get used to it, you get over it, and it ends up not being a big deal anymore. Once you're actually in the story, the dialogue and the way that they talk, you just get used to. You just get over it. So I ended up rating this book a 3.75 stars. And like I said, it wasn't like this end all be all like great romance plot book, you know, but it was still good. It was still entertaining. I still really enjoyed it. I usually end up giving like fun, light, flirty romances on Kindles like around like 4 stars because, you know, they're just like so easy to read and power through, and like they're just so light and fluffy that they, like I said, takes no brain power, which is amazing. Part of the reason I gave it a 3.75 was because the way that they talked, I literally could not stand it in the beginning. It was like actually really hard to read what they think about themselves because they think so highly of themselves, which is fine. They were really like cocky. Okay, I don't want to say they. It was mostly like James, the main male character. He just like thought so highly of himself, which is fine, like I said, but it was just almost like cocky and not confident. I just don't think it was written the right way. That's all I have to say about that. Next up, this book did not actually take me by surprise. It was a book I have actually put off for so long, and I don't know why, because everyone talked about how much they absolutely loved this book, and I think I was just afraid of being let down and not like thinking it was as good as like everybody else said it was. And that book is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Oh my gosh, I have like found a new auto-buy author. Lynn Painter wrote this book so amazingly, and it was just so cute, so entertaining, so funny. The banter is fantastic. They're in high school, and I'm a good 10 years older than the characters in the book. I could relate to Liz, who was one of the main characters, back to when I was in high school. I thought that was like a really fun way for me to connect with the characters because I don't know, like when I read like romances of like people in high school, I guess it would be kind of hard for me to connect to the characters because I am no longer that age, so I don't really remember certain things about that age either. And like the way I acted and the way I talked, like I remember some things, okay, don't get me wrong, like I remember some things. I remember being really cringy and annoying. Other times I cannot. So I find it really hard to kind of connect to younger characters. Lynn Painter made it so easy for me to connect to Liz because I was Liz in high school. Like the way that she like talked about things and acted and responded to things, I was like, oh my gosh, that's me. Like that's how I felt in high school. And Wes, oh my gosh, what a dream boy. What a dream boy. I loved him so much. He was so cute and honestly perfect. So if you guys don't know what Better Than the Movies is about, basically Liz's longtime childhood crush ends up moving back to their hometown, and she's just like, oh my gosh, I am still in love with him. And she finds out that her next door neighbor, Wes, who is her arch enemy, is friends with him. So she's just like, hey, I need you to help me convince Michael that I am girlfriend material and get him to ask me to prom. And Wes is like, okay, what's in it for me? And so they strike up this bargain, and Wes actually agrees to help her. Things just go from there. But if you couldn't already tell by the way that I'm talking about this book, I ended up rating this book a 5 stars. It was so cute. I literally could not stop thinking about them when I wasn't reading it, and I finished this book in like less than a day. Like the first day I started reading it, I think I got to like 160 pages, and the book is literally only like 300. So I got like halfway through on the first day, and then the second day I finished it, and it was absolutely amazing and I loved it. And then I also continued on and read all of the things that Lynn Painter has published from Wes's point of view. So if you end up reading this book and you end up loving it just as much as I have, or if you're someone who's already read it and you don't know, Lynn Painter on her website, and I think her publishing website or her publisher's website, she has chapters posted from Wes's point of view, which is, they were so cute and I loved them seeing from his point of view. Just so cute to read. As well as there is a second book coming out, which is so fun and I'm so excited, but I don't even know what to do with myself because it's not coming out until I think the fall of 2024, which is like a year away, and I'm so sad about it, but I'm just happy that they're getting a second book because now I get to see more of Wes and Liz in the future. So I'm excited. I'm really happy about it and so excited. So yes, I highly recommend this book. It's so fun. It's so cute and swoon worthy and just like perfect like high school typical romance, if you call it, you know? I don't know. It was just so cute and I'm just so happy that I read it, and I'm just so glad that I have found another book that is a 5-star read. One of the things I am sad about though is that I didn't annotate it. It's fine. I'm gonna end up doing a reread anyway of it, and I'm just so excited. 5 stars. Go pick it up if you haven't, and please read it. And the last book that I read this month, I decided to read this book because I was like, okay, I need to get into the spooky season because your girl is not. She was not in the spooky mood and she was reading fall books to put her in the spooky mood. So she was like, all right, let's read this one. And let me tell you, I was so confused the entire time, and I'm like, was I just dumb and I just didn't understand the book, or was this like way more complex than I thought? So anyways, that book is Bunny by Mona Awad. I did enjoy myself though while reading this book. I wouldn't really consider this book anything but literary fiction. I feel like someone somewhere called it like a horror book or a thriller, and it just to me personally isn't. I did not think it was horror or thriller in the slightest. It was more creepy and eerie than anything. Like I wouldn't say it was a thriller. So basically, the main character, Sam, is at this elite New England university and she's in a graduate writing program, and then all of the people in her cohort, this group of girls who call themselves bunnies. They call each other Bunny. That's literally what they call each other. One day, out of the blue, Samantha gets invited to this thing that they call Smut Salon, and it literally goes downhill from there. She ends up ditching her only friend and basically gets herself dug deeper and deeper into this group of girls and friendships, and it like literally like spirals out of control. Yeah, so I don't want to like say too much about anything because it would give away certain things obviously within the book, but yeah, I just read this and I was like, am I stupid? Like I can understand and like see certain key things. I literally don't even know kind of like the whole point of the book because it kind of just like ended, you know, like it just like everything seemed to wrap up and then be ended. And I felt like there was like subplot lines that like got introduced and then were not finished. There were some things that happened that I couldn't tell if was like actually happened or if it was like part of the group that like caused that to happen. And like it's so weird because like the one part that I'm thinking of that I literally just I can't say because it's gonna give stuff away, and I'm like, was that really something that happened? Because at the end of the book it didn't seem to faze her when she came across these people again. I don't know. It was a really weird thing. I literally don't know what to make of it. It just was so confusing. I was entertained the entire time. I kept reading and I kept going because like I had to know what happened, because like while things were happening, like they made kind of sense and they were really creepy and eerie, like I said. And I was really addicted because I was like, oh my gosh, I just have to know what happens because this is crazy. But yeah, like these crazy things were happening to this girl and to the other girls. And I'm just like, what? Like this is a crazy thing to be happening. And she's just so nonchalant about it, you know? So that was the weird thing. That was Bunny, basically. I ended up rating this one, I think a 3.25 stars or 3 stars. Thinking back about it now, it's probably like a 3 stars because I will probably never ever think about these characters again, as well as like the storyline, because it was just so weird and crazy and just so absurd, and it was very different from anything that I've ever read before. Oh yeah, this is also a dark academia book, if I didn't mention. But yeah, like I said, I ended up giving this one about a 3 stars. It wasn't like super great, but it also wasn't bad. Like I was definitely entertained and I definitely enjoyed myself while reading it. It just was crazy. But yeah, that is all the books that I read this month. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you agree or if you don't agree about some of the things that I said about these books, or if you are going to read some of the books, because I definitely highly recommend almost all of them. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social medias, as well as subscribing to my channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.